Hope you're doing well. Mr. O'Brien here, virtually, of course. Today, I want to talk to you about the best way to ask your teacher a question. Maybe your question's about an assignment. Maybe it's about, a lesson that they taught and you didn't understand. Maybe, you just want to pick their brain about something. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple ways uh, to ask your teacher a question. All right. So the first way I'm going to show you is on Google Classroom. So for example, let's take this class right here. Let's say you had a question about this assignment. And again, just to re-show, if you're on the dashboard, you can see all your assignments and when they're due, and you can actually click on them right there. So let's say you have a question about this assignment, right? You could ask your question in the class comments, and that comment would be posted for everyone in the class to see. Or over here in the private comments, you could ask a question that only Mr. O and you would see. So you have to discern, is your question good for the whole class, or does it only pertain to just me? All right, so class comment. Let me give you an example. Right here it says, please upload a picture of pages 110 to 111 in your math workbook. 1 through 30, evens only. So you look at this and you realize, Mr. O'Brien, well, how could it be 1 through 30, evens only? 1 isn't an even number. Shouldn't it be 2 through 30? Duh. So that, maybe you want to say, Mr. O'Brien, did you mean 2 through 30? Because 1 isn't an even number. You can tell Mr. O'Brien doesn't teach math, right? Because he made this fake assignment incorrectly. So that would be an example of a question that probably would help everyone, right? Because Mr. O made a mistake, and you helping him fix the mistake is going to benefit everyone in the class. So you asking that question, everybody sees it, and I can answer it. I get an alert. Oh, whoops, I did make a mistake, and I would comment back, and everybody could see that. Now, a private comment would be more like, Mr. O, I left my workbook at my grandma's house, but I am going to get it later tonight. Is it okay if I turn in the assignment tomorrow morning? So, do you see the difference here? This, in the private comment, this question is about your particular situation, right? You left your book at your grandma's house. Your question, it's not going to help anybody else in the class, right? It's just a question that you need to get in contact with Mr. O. And of course, you comment, and I say, of course, right? I mean, I make mistakes. I leave things places all the time. The important thing is you get the work done and you turn it in, right? And it's important that you get a little bit better each and every day, and you try not to make those silly mistakes like leaving things around. Try to be a little bit more responsible. So again, one way you could ask about an assignment is by you doing a class comment, which is public. And we want to ask things in the class comments that are helpful for everyone. Now in the private comments, this would be more, hey, Mr. O, I'm really struggling with this. I need some help, right? Maybe you don't want the whole class to know that you're struggling. That's okay, right? When I'm struggling, I don't want everybody to know either, okay? No, everybody in your class is here to help, right? But, if you're struggling with, adding fractions, put it in a private comment, right? Mr. O, I didn't really understand the video. Private comment, that would be a great place to ask a question. Another great place to ask a question, if you ever have any question, a good way to ask it is to email your teachers, right? So again, you go to mail.google.com, you log in with your SM Cathedral login. It's got to be your SM Cathedral one. And of course, you could compose an email right to Mr. O or Sister Joan or Sister Lucia or Miss Horvath or Mrs. Obleski or Mrs. Richter. You could send us an email and quick question about fractions, right? Tell me a little bit. You type out your question. Dear Mr. O, comma, I need some help, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go through that because I want to save time. Sincerely, comma, your name, right? So anytime you have a question, always feel free to ask, okay? You can email it to us. That's a great way to do it. But of course, you can always ask us questions on Google Classroom. All right. Now, one last thing I want to point out. If you really need, you could ask a question on the stream. That's okay. But I don't encourage it. And the reason for that is I want to keep this stream as organized as possible so that people see all the new assignments and the new videos up at the top. So if we post a lot of questions, then the stream kind of gets overwhelmed. Okay? I'm not saying you can't, okay? But if you ask a question here, I'll probably answer it, and then later on, I'll probably delete the question off of the stream just to keep it clear, okay? So again, the best place to comment or to ask a question would be on the actual assignment itself, right? If this was a video and you had a question about the video, well, a good place to ask about the video would be, in the comments for the video, all right? So hopefully that was helpful. And if you have any questions, you could just email me, right?